Hello, my name's Gareth Evans and welcome to part 2 of this lesson. Welcome to my website if you've not been here before. If you look to the left hand side of your screen now and scroll up, you'll see a link that says full tutorial list. And once you're done with this lesson, if you click on that link, you'll be taken to a full list of all the lessons that I've ever done, and they're all absolutely free, most of which I've got tabs. Feel free to check them out after you're done with this lesson. So let's move on now to the next part. Like I said, the end of the previous part, that's what we had, and we slid up, like I said, to the 7th fret on that 5th string. Now what we do here, we make this shape. So 7th fret on the 1st and 5th with the middle finger on the 1st string, index finger on this 5th string, and then you bring the ring finger to the 8th fret on the 2nd. Okay, so that's the shape. You start off with this. Okay, that's the first part of the riff. And from now on, if I don't mention it from now on, you're always muting that 6th string while you're playing it with your thumb. Okay, so keep that in mind. Practice the riff without it and then come back to it later and add it in. Okay? So to start off, you play 6 with the thumb, 5 with the index, 6 with the thumb again. Okay, next, you play a slap and flick down on the first 2 strings. Okay, and what you do is you kind of bend that 2nd string up slightly. It's not a full bend, it's not even half a bend, I think a quarter bend, something like that. And straight afterwards you pluck up again with the fingers as they're coming up. Okay, and the bend should still be, you should still be bending it up. You don't bend it on the slap and flick and then stop for the pluck. You know, it's a continuous bend. You slap and flick and then you pluck up as you're still bending up, if that makes sense. Next, you come to this 9th fret there on the 3rd string with the open 6, and then followed by an open 6 straight after, so it's okay. Next, so slap and flick down on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. 2 hammer ups then, 1 to the 8th fret, 1 to the 9th fret. Okay, and obviously if you've followed these thumb slap percussion lessons that I've put out so far, you should be muting the 2nd string and the 4th string as you're doing it. Okay, obviously with the index finger here you can flatten out to touch the fleshy part of your finger on the 4th string to mute that. And again, because you're bridged over the 2nd string, sorry, you can just rest your finger on that to mute that too. So you can play 4, 3 and 2 all together with that slap and only get the note from the 3rd string on the 7th fret. Okay? So that's the technique and that's the art to it basically. That's the first part of the riff. Next we play this. Okay. Okay, so the first part's exactly the same. It's this shape again, 6, 5, 6. Slap and bend up and pluck up as you're still bending. And this time, you get to this 9th fret on the 3rd string with the pluck on the 6th, you play a pull off to the 7th, and then you come to the 9th fret on the 4th string. Okay? Next, you do a pull off, or you slap and flick down the 8th fret on the 4th string, pull off to 7, and up to the 10th fret on the 5th string then. So you've got 2 triplets basically, so it's the pull off from there, pull off from there. Basically how it goes. Okay, so with the other bit. Okay, so that's the first two kind of riffs to it. So the next part of the riff goes like this. It's slightly easier this time because there's no fiddly pull-offs or anything. Same again. You get to that 9th fret on the 3rd string, and this time all you do is you flatten your finger out to, or bar it on the 7th fret of the 4th and 3rd string, and just slap down, flick down and slap. That's all it is. Okay, so that's the 3rd one. The last one. Okay, so this time exactly the same to start off. You do a pull off from 9 to 7 again there on the 3rd string. This time, because your finger's flat, you should flatten your index finger out. You play the 7th fret there on the 4th string. So we've got. Okay. Next, you slap and flick the 8th fret on the 4th string. Slide up to 9, and then you play the 7th fret on the 3rd. So it's. Okay, so that's the 4th kind of riff to it. So what you do is you play riff 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you do riff 3, then 4 again, and then you do riff 3, and then to finish off you do riff 2. If that makes sense, in order that I've shown you them. So this being riff 1, this being riff 2, riff 3, riff 4. Okay, so if I play all in all together the 8 kind of riffs in the order that it should be, it should sound like this. And next, the next part. So I hope that makes sense as far as the structure goes. Before I move into the next part, the idea of this is that you could even make your own riffs up if you wanted to, because it's based around an E minor pentatonic or the blues scale. I don't know much about scales myself, but so play around with that scale if you want, and the idea, obviously, if you're making your own or improvising along with this, you're playing thumb on 6 and then slap, and that's basically your drum and bass for the whole piece. And you can, obviously, if you're an improviser, which I'm not, you could play around with that scale and just jam out onto it if you want to, whatever. So with that said, let's move on to the next part of the song now. So next you move into an A position. I'll show you the chord to begin. 7th fret on the 2nd string, 6th fret on the 3rd, 7th fret on the 4th string. Okay? And all that does is move down 2 frets to the 5th, 4th and 5th on 2nd, 3rd and 4th string. Keeping in mind that when you move to this position, the open 5th now is your bass note. So if you can mute that with the palm of your hand and palm mute it, all the better. Okay, so this sequence, 5, 4, 3, okay? And then slap and flick down on 2 and 3. 4 in there as well. It doesn't make a big difference if you flick the 4th as well. And then pluck upwards on 2 and 3 and slide down. And as you're sliding down them 2 frets, you play the open 5th with your thumb. Okay? Okay? After that, so you slide down, then play 4-3, and then slap and flick the same strings as earlier, 2nd, 3rd and or 4th. Followed by 5 and then 2. Okay? Next, it's the same again, we're moving up, 5, 4, 3, slap and flick, and then straight down this time without the slide down, pluck in 2 and 3. Same sequence again afterwards, which is 5, 4, 3, slap and flick, 5 and then 2, okay? So basically the first time you do a slide down like this, second time you don't do the slide, you just go down a little bit earlier. Okay, third time you do the slide down again. And next, the very last part of this section, okay, and then it leads into back into the intro again. So what you do here, it's a series of triplets basically with slapping at the same time. So what I'll do is I'll describe the 3 triplets first. So we do 12 to 9 on the 3rd string pulled off, and then over to the 12th fret on the 4th string. That's the first triplet. Next, slide down from 9 to 7 on the 3rd, and then to 9 on the 4th. So we've got next 8 pulled off to 7 on the 4th string, over to the 10th fret on the 5th, and lastly the last movement is the 7th fret on both the 3rd and 4th strings, slid up to the 9th fret. So we've got and also remember that at the very first note of each of those triplets, you're slapping and flicking down, not plucking up, so it sounds like this. Okay? Again, obviously work on this technique of muting the strings around the note that you're playing. So muting the 2nd and the 4th string there. Same again there on that slide down. When you do that pull off, you mute in the 3rd and the 5th. And here, you're slapping and flicking down the 3rd and 4th string, so obviously the 2nd and 5th need muting here with that slide down. Okay? Okay, once we've got that, what I do then, I repeat the intro and just run through the whole piece like that basically, and I use that for my background music. So that's pretty much it for the whole of the song. Like I said, it's great practice for the slap and flick technique. If you've been able to play this as one piece all the way through, you'll be doing pretty well with the slapping and flicking, especially with these riffs up here. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Thanks for watching and supporting me. Any requests, as always, drop them in the comment section down below, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.